Hi, my name is Maggie, and this is all about my brain and how I came to like music. See, there I am in my first picture. Wasn't I just cute? How did my brain form, you ask? That's a great question. My brain is made up of all these different parts, which all work to do different things in my body, like move, breathe, and feel. My brain not only gets its looks from my mom and dad through something they call genetics, but it also learns new things from everything around me. When I first started to grow in my mom's belly, I grew pretty fast, but my brain grew really fast. This happens when these little things called neurons grow in my head and then connect with other neurons. Here is a picture of it. Inside the main body of the cell, there are mitochondria and vesicles. That's a big word. Inside, there is a round circle called a nucleus that keeps all of the cell's genetic information like DNA, chromosomes, and proteins. Growing from the cell's body is a tail called the axon. This is like a telephone line that sends information. It reaches out with its little feelers and connects to dendrites that grow out of the top of other cells. These two cells can talk to each other and share secrets about how they are made and what they learned from other cells. More and more of these cells grow and then connect to other cells until it fills the brain with what we call gray matter. If these cells stay connected and keep talking to each other, white stuff called myelin is painted on the axon tail to protect the information and keep their conversations going really strong. This is called myelination. That is a big word. Here's the best part. Once a whole bunch of these connections are painted, it makes something called white matter, which is like gray matter, but it's permanent and doesn't go away. The only bad thing is if these cells stop talking to each other, they will disconnect and go away. This is called synaptic pruning. It has to happen so other cells can grow and connect to each other. Different parts of the brain grow at different rates and at different times. The most important time for my brain to grow was the last 3 months before I was born. What was that like? I can tell you it was pretty cramped, but I could hear all sorts of things from inside my mom's belly. I could hear her heartbeat, her breathing, not to mention all kinds of sounds from outside. I could feel her moving, especially when she was running to her music classes every day. It was just like being rocked to sleep. I could hear her singing and playing music for me while I was still growing. My favorite kind of music was music with violins, especially someone named Vivaldi and Corelli. It made my heart get excited and made me roll around and kick when I heard it play. But I'm not so sure about the opera ladies. They just put me to sleep most of the time. I think because my mom was in music school while I was still growing, it helped me understand and pay attention to music things. They say babies learn music the same way we learn how to talk, by hearing tones and sounds and by feeling the rhythm. Since I could feel my mom moving, I was born with the ability to understand the concepts of music. They also say it helps with things like math and language, since music is shared on both sides of the brain. Before, people thought music was only on the right side, since that is where creativity comes from. But now they know the right side detects patterns of sounds and the left side decodes it. They work as a team. Wait, you want to know how I hear music? That's a cool story. Look at this picture. This is the auditory cortex. All of these changes that happen start in the auditory cortex. Right after I was born, all of these connections started happening really fast. So many that by the time I am 12 months old, I will technically be smarter than my brothers, at least for a little while, until the unused ones are pruned away. The auditory cortex is at the top of the head, and the axons grow, reaching way deep down into the deeper layers of my brain. Up until I am 2, information from my inner ear and brainstem will keep growing and communicating with the auditory cortex, and it increases my music and language skills. This helps me tell the difference between changing patterns when I hear them. As the axons grow deeper, by the time I'm a big kid, all of these will connect both sides of my brain, making me understand music even better. Sometimes all of these things can be affected by mom's biochemical responses. That's another big word for hormones. Things like epinephrine, cortisol, estrogen, oxytocin, and melatonin can affect the baby's musical development. That's why I get so happy when I hear the Celtic women sing. My mommy loved listening to them when I was inside her tummy, and even today she still gets a little emotional when I listen to them. See?
I like Celtic ladies, huh?
I love my mommy, and I'm so happy when she's near me. I even remember when I first heard her voice the day I was born. I was so scared with all of the noises around me, but hearing her familiar voice made me feel so much better. Even today, she sings to me, claps, and dances. She's so silly. I like to try and copy her by moving my arms up and down and making noises with my mouth. I know I'm not as good as her yet, but I know I will get better at it. Look how far I've gotten so far. Not bad for a 10-month-old. When I hear the sounds of music, people talking, and all sorts of rhythms around me, I sometimes cannot help myself and start to move around. Sometimes my sister and my brothers will sing songs to me. They don't sing them the same way, but the song always sounds really good. Sometimes my daddy will try and sing, but I can tell the notes just don't sound the same to me when he sings. See, adults can't hear diatonic changes very well when they are hidden in a song, but they can hear the sour notes. Babies can hear all of the tones. This is because people like my dad have had experience listening to music and sounds, and their ears think they know where the music should go. Babies like me do not have musical experience yet, so we can expect anything to happen. I just love listening to music and making my own sounds. As I continue to learn, my brain will keep its good connections, and eventually the plasticity will be less and less. In other words, my brain cells will be all set up, and eventually there won't be as much room to grow new cells. But that's okay, because I was born with the ability to hear and understand pitch, timbre, rhythms, and patterns. With all that knowledge, all that my mommy has done for me, and all that I have learned over the first few years of my life, I am already set up with a foundation to be musical. Yay! Just as soon as I can get my coordination down, I will come back and play you some Corelli. Bye bye! Maggie, look at mommy. Say, hi.